was in Berlin. I was in Berlin when the wall came down. And for me, it was a joy to have taken the images in my head of Soviet tanks and barbed wires and then watched that wall come down. I walked down Karl-Marx-Strasse, the main street of East Berlin, the showcase city of the Soviet Empire, for the very first time. In that showcase city, I saw the destruction caused by World War II and socialism remaining, destruction that had never been addressed by communists or Nazis. I stood on the steps of the German Reichstag, and I still saw the blackened steps of Nazi arson. Those socialist governments failed. That system failed, as it has in so many times and in so many places. Now here in our nation, we have people who want to push us in that direction. We have forces, we have personalities on the left driving us into socialism right here in America. Well, I can tell you right now, as a citizen of the live free or die state, as someone who will stand up for that model, as someone who has proven he has what it takes, as someone who is a conservative, we won't let that happen. I will fight for our freedoms. I will fight for our common sense. I will fight against bureaucrats whose regulations treat us like fools, unable to run our own lives. I will fight liberals who use those regulations to tell us how to live, where to live, and why to live. I will fight for a future. I have it, and I won't back down. Now, of course, the big government, politicians, and liberal special interests, they want a different course. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her fellow socialists, well, they now run the Democrat Party. And they want higher taxes. They want to limit freedom. And they want to control and therefore suffocate our economy. They believe Washington has the answers. They want to be permanently enshrined as the elite. Well, I just didn't ride in from a government job given out of Washington to tell New Hampshire that Washington has all the answers and Washington insiders should bring them to New Hampshire. No, I will fight for the freedoms and liberties that are at the core of New Hampshire. I've been fighting here right along. I don't have to be taught about New Hampshire. You and I know New Hampshire in reality. And we don't need those who come out of Washington and those who have just arrived from other states to think that they can figure us out and then go to Washington and tell Washington what New Hampshire wants. New Hampshire wants what you and I and all of us have been fighting for over the years. I have proven that when it comes to fighting for freedom and economic growth, when it comes to fighting for our New Hampshire families, I know the fight and I won't let you down. I've been married to the same wonderful woman for 45 years. I'm the father of 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. My son is practicing law, as I did. Very proud of him. My daughters are doing well. One works in the important field of pharmaceutical testing and the other in organic food research. I want my daughters to continue the success as strong, independent women, and I want to stand up for them like I stand up for all New Hampshire citizens. I will fight for New Hampshire families and for our state's success so that everyone has a chance to achieve the American dream that I've achieved. As a successful small businessman and a proven job creator, I know we can continue to grow New Hampshire if we just have the right policies, if we don't have the big thumb of Washington against small businesses. I don't live in the world of Washington. I'll never live in the world of Washington. I'll go to Washington and represent you. I live in the other world, the New Hampshire world, where we put food on our table, where we meet our obligations, where we raise our own children and don't ask government to raise our children. I won't do what Jeanne Shaheen has done. I won't become part of Washington. Jeanne Shaheen has proven she's captive of a big government pushing Washington control. She's left New Hampshire behind. Jeanne Shaheen no longer puts New Hampshire first. Forget what she says. She doesn't do that. The bipartisan National Federation of Independent Business reports that Jeanne Shaheen has voted more than 80% of the time against small businesses. 80% of the time. We're a state of small businesses. 80% of the time, she's voting against you. She's putting Washington big government first. Or perhaps she thinks Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders are New Hampshire because that's who she's putting first. As a successful small business owner, I will fight for New Hampshire's job creators, and I will put you first. The day that Jeanne Shaheen cast the deciding vote for Obamacare, she promised us, quote, more cost-effective health care. Well, in New Hampshire, those forced into the system, having lost their private insurance, were promised that they could get on the ACA plan, ACA Silver plan, and it would meet their needs. In fact, in 1 year, 2017 to 2018, the cost of that plan went up 77%. Thank you, Jeanne Shaheen. And overall increases in premiums have averaged 21% a year. Thank you, Jeanne Shaheen. When it comes to health care, Jeanne Shaheen keeps talking and talking and press releasing, catering to her liberal elite, while those of us in New Hampshire are suffering. New Hampshire keeps paying and paying. And you know, she's not done. She's not done. She advocates killing Medicare as we know it with a Bernie Sanders Medicare for All socialist scheme she endorsed in 2017. Now, you know, the cost of that each year would be $1.4 trillion. As CNN itself reported, to pay for it, all Americans and job creators would see a tax increase. All Americans and all New Hampshire taxpayers would pay more for Jeanne Shaheen's scheme, and worse yet, maybe even than that, see Medicare for the elderly being wrecked. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. We'll do that. We just have to figure out if Washington's her home or New Hampshire. We don't know. Home, send her home, send her home, send her home. Thank you. You know, most recently she flip-flopped. She said, I don't think we're in a position yet where we can get rid of private insurance. Yet? Yet? She's playing politics with people's health care.
Croc TV.